Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama. Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama.
बनचारी।
Box is a small box. Is it audible, bro? Sound audible.
जयो राधा माधव कुंज विहारी। कुंज विहारी हरे कृष्णा 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 हरे हरे, हरे राम 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 हरे हरे। हरे राम 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 हरे हरे, हरे कृष्णा 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 हरे हरे, हरे राम 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 हरे हरे, हरे कृष्णा। हरे हरे जयो जगन्नाथा जगन्नाथा, बलदेवा जयो सुभद्रा। गौरनिताय गौरनिताय गौरनिताय, जयो गौरनिताय। गौरनिताय जयो गौरनिताय, जयो जयो प्रभुपाद प्रभुपाद प्रभुपाद, जयो जयो प्रभुपाद। Prabhupada Jayo Jayo Prabhupada. Srila Prabhupada Jai Jai Om Vishnupada Paramahamsa Parivrajatacharya Ashtottara Shatashi Srimad His Divine Grace A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Srila Prabhupada Ki Jai Ananta Koti Vaishnava Vrind Ki Jai Granth Raj Srimad Bhagavatam Ki Jai Nitai Gaur Premanande. All glories to the assembled devotees. All glories to the assembled devotees. All glories to the assembled devotees. All glories to Shri Guru and Gauranga. All glories to His Divine Grace. Srila Prabhupada Ki Jai. Nama Om Vishnupadaya Krishna Preshthaya Bhutale Shrimate Bhakti Vedanta Swamin Iti Namini. Namaste Saraswate Deve Gauravani Pracharini Nirvishesha Shunyavadi Paschatya Deshatarini. Hare Krishna. Welcome all of you for today's Srimad Bhagavatam class. We are reading from Canto 1, Chapter 9, titled as The Passing Away of Bhishma Deva, and we are reading verse number 33. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Narayanam Namaskritya Naram Chaiva Narottamam Devim Saraswatim Vyasam Tato Jayamudhiraye Nashtaprayeshu Abhadreshu Nityam Bhagavata Sevaya Bhagavatiruttama Shloke Bhaktirbhavati Naishtuki Krishnaya Vasudevaya Devaki Nandanaya Cha Nanda Gopakumaraya Govindaya Namo Namaha. Hare Krishna. This verse is a part of Bhishma Stuti. So we will chant this verse and probably chant the first verse later when we start discussing it. Please repeat after me. Tribhuvana Kamanam Tamala त्रिभुवनकमनं तमालवरणम् रविकरगौरवराम्बरं दधाने रविकरगौरवराम्बरं दधाने वपुरलककुला वृताननाब्जम् वपुरलककुला वृताननाब्जम् विजय सखेरतिरस्तु मे नवद्या विजय सखेरतिरस्तु मे नवद्या त्रिभुवनकमनं तमालवरणम् रविकरगौरवराम्बरं दधाने वपुरलककुलावृताननाब्जम् विजयसखेरतिरस्तु मे नवद्या त्रिभुवनकमनं तमालवर्णम् रविकरगौर वपुरलककुलावृताननाब्जम् जय नवद्या त्रिभुवनकमनं समानम् रविकरगौरवराम्बरं दधाने वपुरलककुलावृताननाब्जम् विजयसखेरतिरस्तु मे नवद्या त्रिभुवनकमनं कमालवर्णम् रविकरगौरवराम्बरं दधाने पुरलककुलाननाब्जम् विजयसखेरतिरस्तु मे नवद्या त्रिभुवन दधाने वपुरलककुलावृताननाब्जम् विजयसखेरतिरस्तु मे नवद्या. Word to word translation. Tribhuvana, three states of planetary systems. Kamanam, the most desirable. Tamala Varnam, bluish like the tamala tree. Ravikara, sun rays. Gaura, golden color. Varambaram, glittering dress. Tadhane, one who wears. Vapuhu, body. Alakakula avrita, covered with paintings of sandalwood pulp. Anana abjam, face like a lotus. Vijaya sakhe, unto the friend of Arjuna. Rati astu, may attraction be reposed upon him. May, might, anavadya, without desire for fruitive results. Translation and purport by His Divine Grace, Srila Prabhupada Jai. Translation. Sri Krishna is the intimate friend of Arjuna. He has appeared on this earth in his transcendental body, which resembles the bluish color of the Tamala tree. His body attracts everyone in the three planetary systems, upper, middle, and the lower. May his glittering yellow dress and his lotus face covered with paintings of sandalwood pulp be the subject of my attraction, and may I not desire fruitive results. Purport. When Sri Krishna, by his own internal pleasure, appears on earth, he does so by the agency of his internal potency. The attractive features of his transcendental body are desired in all the three worlds, namely the upper, middle, and lower planetary systems. Nowhere in the universe are there such beautiful bodily features as those of Lord Krishna. Therefore, his transcendental body has nothing to do with anything materially created. Arjuna is described here as the conqueror, and Krishna is described as his intimate friend. Bhishma Deva, on his bed of arrows, after the battle of Kurukshetra, is remembering the particular dress of Lord Krishna which he put on as the driver of Arjuna's chariot. While fighting was going on between Arjuna and Bhishma's attraction was drawn by the glittering dress of Krishna, and indirectly he admired his so called enemy, Arjuna, for possessing the Lord as his friend. Arjuna was always a conqueror because the Lord was his friend. Bhishma Deva takes this opportunity to address the Lord as Vijaya Sakhe, friend of Arjuna, because the Lord is pleased when he is addressed co-jointly with his devotees who are related with him in different transcendental humors. While Krishna was a charioteer of Arjuna, sun rays glittered on the dress of the Lord, and the beautiful hue created by the reflection of such rays was never forgotten by Bhishma Deva. As a great fighter, he was relishing the relation of Krishna in a chivalrous humor. Transcendental relation with the Lord in any one of the different rasas, humors, is relishable by the respective devotees in the highest ecstasy. Less intelligent mundaners who want to jump at once to the relation of conjugal love, imitating the damsels of Rajadhama. Such a cheap relation with the Lord exhibits only the base mentality of a mundaner, because one has relished conjugal humor with the Lord cannot be attached to the worldly conjugal rasa, which is condemned even by mundane ethics. The eternal relation of a particular soul with the Lord is evolved. A genuine relation of the living being with the Supreme Lord can take any form out of the five principal rasas, and it does not make any difference in the transcendental degree to the genuine devotee. Bhishma Deva is a concrete example of this, and it should be carefully observed how the great general is transcendentally related with the Lord. ॐ अज्ञानतिमिरन्धस्य ज्ञानाञ्जनशलाकय चक्षुरुन्मिलितं येन तस्मै श्रीगुरवे नमः। श्रीचैतन्यमनोभीष्टं स्थापितं येन भूतले स्वयं रूप कदा मह्यं ददाति स्वपदान्तिकं वन्दे श्रीगुरो श्रीयुता पदकमलम् श्रीगुरु वैष्णवांश्च श्रीरूपं साग्रजातं सहगण रघुनाथान्वितं तं सजीवम् साद्वैतं सावधूतं परिजनसहितं कृष्ण चैतन्य देवं श्रीराधा कृष्णपदान् सहगणा ललिता श्रीविशाखान्वितांश्च हे कृष्ण करुणा सिन्धो दीनबन्धो जगत्पते गोपेश गोपिका कान्ता राधाकान्त नमोऽस्तुते तप्त काञ्चन गौराङ्गी राधे वृन्दावनेश्वरी ऋषभानुसुते देवी प्रणमामि हरिप्रिये वाञ्छाकल्पतरुभ्यश्च कृपा सिन्धुभ्य एव च पतितानां पावनेभ्यो वैष्णवेभ्यो नमो नमः। जय श्री कृष्ण चैतन्य प्रभु नित्यानंद श्री अद्वैता गदाधरा श्रीवासादि गौर भक्त वृंदा हरे कृष्णा 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 हरे 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 राम 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 हरे हरे यं प्रव्रजन्तं मनुपेतमनुपेतकृत्यं द्वैपायनविरह कातर आजुहावा पुत्रेति तन्मयतया तरवोऽभिनेदु स्थं सर्वभूतहृदयं मुनिमानतोऽस्मि। Hare Krishna. Welcome all of you for today's discussion of Shri Granthara Srimad Bhagavatam. I have to open my laptop if it's okay. So I might block the camera, but I'll put it to the side. All of you know that I come from an IT industry. I can't do without my laptop. So first of all, before I start speaking, express my thanks to. I want to express my thanks to Prasannatma Prabhu and Narahari Prabhu for allowing me to do the seva, to giving me this opportunity to address such an august audience of Vaishnavas here assembled here. So although it's my incapacity and I don't have the yogyata to address, but it's just for the mercy of Prabhuji that he gave me the seva. Thank you very much, Prabhu. So I also beg forgiveness if I have taken someone else's slot who were supposed to give a lecture today. So I beg forgiveness for that. And I seek blessings from all of you, Vaishnavas and Vaishnavis, so that I'll be able to speak something for the pleasure of the beloved lordships here, Nityananda Natavara, Gaura Sundara, Radha Vinoda, and Jagannath Baldev Subhadra with Sudarshana, and Lord Narsingadeva with Prahlad Maharaj. So I please beg to the lordships and the devotees so that I can speak something that is pleasing to the devotee's heart. May this endeavor purify my heart and purify my kaya, vacha, manasa, my body, words, and mind. I also offer my obeisances to the Lord, prayer which Shukadev Goswami offers. Bhutair mahadbhir ima puro vibhur nirmaya shete yadamushu purushaha bhungte gunan shodasha shodashatmakaha solang krishishta bhagavan vachamsi me. So, we are reading a literature called the Srimad Bhagavatam. Now, Srimad Bhagavatam is a very unique literature in the Sanatana scriptures. The Sanatana scripture also is not a correct word, actually. Scripture has a connotation of a Western influence. Shastra is a proper word. Among all of these, you can classify, in one sense, as two kinds of pursuers of knowledge. One is the Rasikas, and the other one are the Vipras. Vipras is who like to have a scholarly understanding of the Shastra. And Rasikas not only relish the scholarly content of the Shastras, but also tries to get the nectar out of that understanding. So that is the Rasikas. Bhagavatam is such an amazing literature. It caters to both type of seekers. In the first canto, the third verse, Vyasadeva writes, Nigamakalpatarorgalitam phalam Shukhamukhadamritadravasam yutam Pibata Bhagavatam Rasamalayam Muhuraho Rasika Bhuvi Bhavukaha. That this Srimad Bhagavatam, although composed by Vyasadeva, now because it is heard by Shukadeva Goswami and spoken by Shukacharya, Shukadeva, Shuka means a parrot. When he speaks it to Parikshit Maharaj, it has become even more relishable. Although Bhagavatam actually cannot be understood by Panditya, like scholarly achievement. Somebody who knows Sanskritam cannot achieve the understanding or the deeper tenets of Srimad Bhagavata Puran. That is the final verdict of the acharyas. But it is only the rasikas who can actually get to the depth of the rasa that Srimad Bhagavatam elucidates, actually. So therefore, it is nigama kalpa. Nigama means one, although it is unapproachable, that becomes approachable because it has been spoken by Shukadeva Goswami. Now that Shukadeva Goswami's Uchishta, which is spoken, also is not approachable for us. That has been given to us by none other than by our own divine grace, His divine grace, Srila Prabhupada. Be it if he not be there, probably I would not be able to access this glorious literature because Sanskrit ka gyan to hai nahi. So we don't know I don't know Sanskritam, and on top of it, even though you know Sanskritam, I will not be able to extract the meanings, the deeper meanings of this. Especially, we will see in the purport how Prabhupada mines the deeper meanings and rasa of every verse. But then one may ask, what about for the scholarly people? Huh? Is there anything for them? Now, interestingly, Prabhupada, in the teachings of Lord Chaitanya, in chapter number 23, he quotes a verse from Garuda Purana. Now, when was Srimad Bhagavatam composed by Vyasadeva? In the end, isn't it? Is it not? After he's composed the Veda, the Brahma Sutras, the Vedas, Vedanta, and all the 17 Puranas, he was still not satisfied. And that is why Narada Muni suggests that you have to explain more about Krishna. So therefore, he composes Srimad Bhagavatam. But in Garuda Purana, Prabhupada quotes this verse in the teachings of Lord Chaitanya, chapter number 23, Arthoyam Brahma Sutranam Bharatartha Vinirnayah Gayatri Bhashya Rupasau Vedartha Paribhrimitaha Grantha Ashtadasha Sahasrashah Srimad Bhagavatadividah. This is a verse from Garuda Puran. That means Veda Vyasa already knew he is going to compose. Of course, he's the literary incarnation of the Lord. But it was just a leela happening between Narada Muni and Veda Vyasa for the advent of Srimad Bhagavatam. So in this verse, Arthoyam Brahma Sutrana, all linguistics of Sanskritam know it very clearly that the Sanskritam used in Srimad Bhagavatam is very different. Because generally when you read Sanskritam, the Sanskritam in Vedas are different to the Sanskritam in the Puranas. Because Vedic Sanskrit is different. One who knows the Vedas and one who, if you ask them, they will tell you. But interestingly, the language among these 18 Puranas in the Srimad Bhagavatam is entirely different. There are certain words used in Srimad Bhagavatam which is not used in the Vedas also. You will not find them in the Vedas as well. So such is the vocabulary of Srimad Bhagavatam. So therefore, Arthoyam Brahma Sutranam, for the whole Brahma Sutras, the Artha means the meaning, and the meaning of Nirnaya. The Nirnaya means the culmination of Bharata. Bharatartha Vinirnaya. the culmination of Mahabharata, is written in Gayatri Bhashya. So we know the first verse of Srimad Bhagavatam. What is the first verse? Janmadyasya yatah. That is Janma. We see that. That's a Gayatri. So Gayatri Bhashya Rupa Usav. In the language of Gayatri, this has been written. What? Grantha Ashtadasha Shahasrasha. 18,000 verses. There is a Grantha called Srimad Bhagavatadi Pitaha. This is the verse written in Garuda Purana by Vedavyas. So Bhagavatam does not stop anyone from getting excited to pursue and seek the inner rasa, as well as the scholarly tenets for the Vipras who are interested in the scholarly achievements. Now, by the devotees' mercy, we are reading Bhishma Stuti, which is the glorious prayers of Sri Bhishma Deva in the Anushasana Parva. This also in the Mahabharata comes in the Anusashana Parva. Anusashana Parva is when Yudhishthira Maharaj has won his war, the Kurukshetra war, Mahabharata war. And then when Krishna is leaving to Dwaraka from Hastinapura in the Bhagavatam. So Bhagavatam is a Purana and Itihasa is history, which is Mahabharata. If you read them in conjunction, you will understand that Krishna is about to leave, but at that point in time, Kunti has offered her prayers in the chapter 8. Kunti Devi's prayers has been offered now. Just after Kunti is offering her prayers, has offered her prayers, Krishna is now bidding goodbye to all of them in the Hastinapura and is about to leave. Then he will see a crying face of Yudhishthira Maharaj standing at the doorstep. Yudhishthira Maharaj is troubled. Why? Why is he troubled? Why is Yudhishthira Maharaj troubled now? He's won the war. Why should he be troubled? The Lord is leaving. Okay, that's a valid answer. Another one? Anyone else? Of course, he was very sad that the Lord is leaving. His family members are no more. Yes. Hatya, the killings. Thank you, Mataji. True. Actually, all are right. But mainly Bhagavatam elucidates that Yudhishthira Maharaj was confused of his duty. This is the same situation in the Bhagavad Gita as well. What does Bhagavad Gita start with? Arjuna's predicament. Of course, Krishna starts preaching from there, but we start from Dhritarashtra's verse. Now, Arjuna was confused about his duty, whether to fight or not. In the same way, if you come to Anusashana Parva, Yudhishthira Maharaj is confused whether to rule or not. Is it not? He is thinking he is the sole cause of killing 18 Akshauhini Sainim. 18 means it's a huge army of soldiers, army of elephants, horses. He's killed. And Yudhishthira Maharaj is feeling, now I have to sit on this throne? For this did I kill so many? How many millions of lifetimes I should take to repay this papa, the sins that I've committed by killing? I've killed Abhimanyu. He's thinking he's the cause of killing of Abhimanyu also. Because he's the cause, because he's the king. Now he's going to enjoy the kingdom on the deathbed of Abhimanyu, the sons of Duryodhana. And of course, he's feeling for everyone. His own teacher, Dronacharya, Bhishma Deva. Now, Yudhishthira Maharaj is confused. If you see, in the 8th chapter, I'll just read a few verses, then it'll probably put some context into it. I just want to set the scene before we enter Bhishma Stuti, because it's such a wonderful Stuti. We have to understand Bhishma Deva was probably one of the greatest warriors, the greatest scholars, the greatest devotee this Prithvi has ever seen, actually. So therefore, his Stuti is very significant for us to understand. So therefore, we are trying to set the scene. From the 47th verse of the 8th chapter, there's a verse called Aharaja Dharma Sutas Chintayan Suhridan Vadham Prakrutenatmana Vipraha Sneha Moha Vasham Gataha. Yudhishthira Maharaj, Sutta Goswami is saying, Aha Raja Dharma Sutas. He's the Sutta of Dharmaraj. Is it not? That is why he is Yamaraj's son. He's Dharmaraj. Chintayan Suhridan Vadham. Suhrid means what? He's killed everyone and he's worried now. Chintayan. Chintayan. Same verse. What is the verse where Arjuna was worried? Karpanya dosham. श्रेयान् भोक्तुं भैक्ष्यमपि हलोके हत्वार्तु कामांस्तु गुरूनिहैव भुञ्जीय भोगान् रुतिरप्रधिग्धान्. I'll go and beg Krishna. I don't want to kill. I don't want to fight. Shreyan bhoktum bhaikshyamapi haloke. What greatness is there in killing all this? So I'll go and beg Krishna. Same way here. Chintayan suhridam vadham prakritenatma vipraha sneha moha vasham gataha. He is gone into moha. Moha means what? Delusion, bewilderment. Although, why is this? Because although he is being explained by Krishna, by Draupadi. Draupadi also is a very elevated scholar. Sometimes Dharmaraj is always consulting his wife. We'll see a perfect husband-wife relationship in them. Always Dharmaraj, although he is Dharmaraj, he doesn't say, hey, Dharmaraj, how come I should ask you, his wife, Grihini? No. He's always seeking advice from Draupadi, because Draupadi also is Agni Janani. She is a very great scholar. So even though Draupadi, Krishna, Dhaumya, Vyasadev also has explained to Dharmaraja, what you have done is not adharma. But now he's thinking, what all I have done is adharma. Because Krishna only has put that doubt in his mind. Because after Bhimasena kills Duryodhana, he says he puts a sentence, Krishna puts a sentence, all adharmi should be killed by adharma. So that one sentence sits in the mind of Yudhishthira Maharaj and he starts doubting, all I've done is adharma now. So because he is Dharma Raja, he cannot tolerate adharma. Now because of that doubt, his sneha moha vasham gataha. He's become vash of sneha moha. And then he laments, aho me pashyat pashyata jnanam haridi rudham duratmanah prakritasyaiva dehasya bahyame ksauhinir hataha. For this material body that is going to be eaten by dogs and worms, I have killed Akshauhini. Akshauhinir hataha. I have killed 18 phalanxes of army. What a duratma I am. And then he says, Baladvija suhran mitra pitra bhratra guru druha namesyan nirayan moksho hi api varshayayutaihi. I might take millions and millions of lifetimes because the killing I've done of Bala, Dvija, Suhran, Mitra, Pitra, Bhratra, Guru, Druha. I've killed so many. Guru, I've killed children. I've killed hundreds of my brothers, Duryodhana and his brothers, 100 sons of Dhritarashtra and their children and their grandchildren. Namesyan Nirayan Moksho. I will never get liberated of the sins that I have committed, even though I might take millions of lifetimes. So this is the predicament of Yudhishthira Maharaj in front of Lord Krishna. He's explaining all of this, right? The same situation. Now, when he's explaining like this, Krishna has explained, has spoken to Yudhishthira Maharaj, but he is not convinced. Then Krishna says, then in that sense, you have to consult the greatest devotee of mine, who is Bhishma Deva. You are lamenting here, but you should think about Bhishma Deva, who has not left his body yet. He is holding on to his life. We should go and take advice from Yudhishthira Maharaj. You should come. Krishna had two purposes in this, because Krishna doesn't do anything just like that. There is nothing called as akasmat in Sanskritam. Akasmat agi we say in Kannada. Akasmat means his wish. Akasmat means akarosmi Bhagavan. Akasmat means according to his desire, actually speaking. Yadrichaya is another word in Sanskrit. So Krishna always has his own reasons for it. Krishna had two reasons. One is he wanted Yudhishthira Maharaj to hear directly from his devotee, Bhishma Dev. Such a great warrior and such a great devotee. And such a great, he's a mountain of wisdom. So Yudhishthira Maharaj, he said, you should take advice from him before you run the kingdom. Second thing, he wanted Bhishma Dev to see what he wanted to see, that he wanted to see the sons of Pandu finally settle down on the throne of Hastinapur. So, then Yudhishthira Maharaj with all the Pandavas and then a whole party starts marching from Hastinapura to Kurukshetra. There is a whole party, and it seemed like tadate bhratara sarve sadashvahi swarna bhushitaihi anvagachan ratair vipra vyasa dhaumadayastata. This is 192, the 9th chapter. It looked as if Kuvera himself had adorned with jewels, and then he's walking, Yudhishthira Maharaj is walking towards the Kurukshetra, towards where Bhishma Dev was lying. It seemed as if the Acharyas write in the Mahabharata, it seemed as if the Hastinapur Vasis are glorifying that Raja. They want a Raja, they want a king, they want a minister who always thinks, am I doing right? Am I doing correct? Or am I doing wrong? Who always contemplates on his decisions. We don't want a leader who always thinks, I'm always right. You see? So the citizens of Hastinapur are glorifying. Here is the king whom we want. Here is the Sadaishvai Swarna Bhushita Anvagachan Ratair Vipraha. So we want a king who is so glorious, who is always contemplating whether he's actually doing the right thing or doing the wrong. Such a king we want. And they are marching with Vyasa, Dhaumya. You know who is Dhaumya? Dhaumya is the family priest of Pandavas. And they, along with Krishna, approach Bhishma Deva. Now, along with this, in the 9th chapter, you will see many other great sages have come to witness this Bhishma Deva's departure. They have not only come to witness Bhishma Deva's departure, they also have come to hear from Bhishma Deva. Even Veda Vyasa and Lord Krishna also wants to hear from Bhishma Deva. Such is the glory of the devotee Bhishma Deva. Now, when the scene is set just like a movie, you know, when the camera focuses, Bhagavatam gives a glorious verse in this 9th chapter. There is a Shayana, there is a bed of arrows on which Bhishma Deva is lying. He must be 700 years old. His body withered away. For the last 20, 28 days or 20 days lying in the Mahabharata, I don't know how many days he's lying after the war. There, his blood, not even a drop of blood is there in his body. He's lying there on the Shayasana. And then it's as if a demigod has fallen on Mother Earth on the bed of arrows. So there is a camera is focusing on Bhishma Deva now. Now here, the Shastras say Bhishma Deva was not in pain because of physical condition. Although there was no drop of blood left in his body, he was lying there contemplating on when to leave his body. But he was waiting for one thing. Many people think he's waiting for Uttarayana, he's waiting for the planetary adjustments. But Bhagavatam very clearly says he's waiting for that sun to arrive and that moon to arrive. Who is that? Krishna. Huh? That moon to arrive, to look at Krishna's face and then leave this this mortal world. Interestingly, Bhishma Deva had asked death to stop. How many of us can do that? He had asked death, Mr. Death, you wait. I will tell you when to come. I will tell you. So he had Ichha Mrityu. Now, in today's world, also in today's medical parlance, they try to save us and give us longevity of life, you know. But that longevity comes at a cost of pain and distress. But Bhishma Deva was not in distress. He was happily lying there awaiting Krishna's arrival. And he had asked Mr. Death to wait. He was not waiting for death. He was asking the death to wait. And he was asking, wait, let me take the darshan of my Lord. Such a glorious personality he was. So that is why Kurukshetra is Dharmakshetra. Dharmakshetre Kurukshetre Samaveta Yuyutsavaha. Here it is not Yuyutsavaha. It is still a Dharmakshetra, but now this Dharmakshetra Kurukshetra is because of the preaching of Bhishma Dev, is because of the assembly of such great sages. If you see in the 9th chapter, just before Bhishma Stuti, there is an explanation of what all sages had arrived there. I'll not read the verse, I'll just avoid it. So all these sages had assembled, including Vyasadeva, Dhaumya Rishi, they all had assembled, and Krishna also was there. Therefore, it is again a Dharmakshetra. And then, before even Yudhishthira Maharaj puts out his doubts that he is the cause of adharma, Bhishma Deva starts speaking. And in the Mahabharata, he elucidates the glorious what? Vishnu Sahasranam. It is said in the forest of Mahabharata, there is a flower called Bhagavad Gita. And in that flower of Bhagavad Gita, the nectar is Vishnu Sahasranam. That is from the Mahabharata. But for us from Srimad Bhagavatam, the nectar is Bhishma Stuti. You see the beauty of Bhagavatam. It gives us another flavor of the prayers of Bhishma Deva to Yudhishthira Maharaj and the Pandavas and to us. Interestingly, there's an episode that happens there. When Bhishma Deva starts speaking wisdom, pearls of wisdom of how to run a kingdom, how to take care of the subjects and all of that, you'll see in the 9th chapter before he starts beginning to depart. Draupadi, it is written in the Mahabharata, Draupadi for a while smiles. Can you believe it? Draupadi is looking at Bhishma Deva, she covers her mouth, smiles. Now, Bhishma Deva looks at Draupadi and humbly inquires, why are you smiling, my dear daughter-in-law? Draupadi says, now you are preaching such high philosophy. Where was your philosophy when I was being disrobed in your assembly, Pitamaha? Draupadi asks this, and now you're talking big words. How is that? Can you imagine how Vedavyasa puts humility in perspective? Here is a man who is about to leave his body, and here is a scholarly woman, a devout Vaishnavi, laughing. Now you're talking big philosophy? Is it a Bhagavatam class you are giving now? What happened to the Bhagavatam class then? When people were disrobing me right in front of you, you did nothing. You didn't speak a word. When Vidura was objecting, you didn't speak a word. And Bhishma Deva very humbly admits, yes, that is because I was wrong. I accept that is because I have eaten the salt. In English, it's a bit strange. Eating the salt means, what does it mean? Namak hai. Hindi we say. I didn't want to become a namak haram. Basically, that's what Bhishma Dev said. Because I was working for Duryodhana, I cannot speak anything against Dhritarashtra or Duryodhana. I was a servant. So therefore, I cannot. But now, for the last so many days and months, I have taken out every ounce of blood that was reason for this namak. Now I don't have that drop of blood in my body. I have done my prayaschitta. Therefore, I can speak. I can speak now. No more I have his namak in my body. Bhishmadev says, I don't have any more salt left in my body because of that salt that I've eaten of Duryodhana and Dhritarashtra. Therefore, I speak, Devi. If you don't mind, can I continue? Then the Sambhashana continues, and Bhishmadev starts offering his advice to Yudhishthira Maharaj. After he's offered his advice, then Bhishma Deva starts telling that now let me concentrate on the glorious, on my passing away. But before that, I want to focus on Krishna. That is how he starts his uh, stuti. So if you can repeat after me, we'll just repeat the first verse if you don't mind. Can you all repeat after me? Shri Bhishma Uvacha Iti Mati Rupakal Pita Vitrishna Bhagavati Sattvat Pungave Vibhumani Vasukhamupagate Kvachid Vihartum Prakritimupeyushiyad Bhava Pravaha Tribhuvanakamanam Tamalavarnam Ravikaragauravaraambaram Dadhane Vapuralakakulavritananabjam Vijayasakheratiras me navadya Srila Vishwanath Chakravarti Thakura writes, the first verse, Bhishma Deva is withdrawing his thinking, feeling, and willing towards Krishna. Iti matir upakalpita. Mati. Prahlad Maharaj also says, Matirna Krishne paratasvatova, to his father, or when he teaches his students in the Gurukula. Matirna Krishne, Matihi, iti matir upakalpita. This is the requirement of Krishna also. In the Bhagavad Gita, Man mana bhava mad bhakto man matyaji mam. Krishna wants our mind, our thoughts to be focused on Krishna. So he wants our mind. Our mind has to be given to Krishna. Here, in this verse, in the previous verse, now he's withdrawn his senses. He wants to focus on Krishna, but now he goes deeper and meditates on a specific form of Krishna. Let us do Shloka Vicheda a little bit here. Tribhuvana kamanam tamala Tribhuvana. Tribhuvana means the 3 floors of Brahmaji's house. Bhur, Bhuvaha, and Suvaha. All the 3 worlds are attracted to one object, that is Krishna. Tribhuvana kamanam. That Krishna who is the color of Tamala tree. Tamala Varanam. The bluish lotus, the bluish beautiful Krishna, Tamala Varanam. And then he describes the clothes that Krishna is wearing. Ravikara Gauravarambaram Dadhane. He's wearing Dadhane Ravikara Gaura. Now Ravikara Gaura is that verse we glorify Chaitanya Mahaprabhu with. Is Gauranga. Navagauravaram. We also glorify Chaitanya Mahaprabhu as Gaura. So Ravikara Gaura. Krishna is wearing a golden dress which is glittering because of the sunshine. This is the vision he had when Krishna marched to kill Bhishma Deva. That is another beautiful episode. Arjuna is holding on to Krishna's feet. Krishna is like a lion. Arjuna is holding on to the feet and Krishna is dragging his feet on the ground, and Arjuna is being dragged by Krishna, and Krishna is holding the wheel of the chariot and marching towards Bhishma, that I'll kill you because you want to kill my devotee. And Bhishma Deva is envisioning and relishing that scene where Krishna's clothes are flying in the wind, and in mud covered Krishna, he's covered with mud. Of course, he's in the war field. He'll not be. But there also Krishna is dressed because Krishna is Alankara. Wherever he goes, he puts his makeup on. He's putting his makeup. What is his makeup here? Vapuralaka kulavrita. He's put sandalwood pulp. He's decorated his face beautifully. With that, Krishna is marching to kill Bhishma Deva. That is the vision Bhishma Deva is remembering at this point in time. And then he's saying, Vritananabjam. Krishna is always compared to Abjam, the lotus flower. It's not the BJP party lotus flower. It's the lotus flower, which is Krishna is always compared to lotus flower. His lotus feet. Spiritual master also is compared to the lotus feet. And there is a beautiful address that Bhishma Dev does, which Prabhupada glorifies. Vijaya Sakhe. He calls him Vijaya Sakhe. You are the friend of the victorious. It is a condescending name for Krishna. We'll come to it later. It's a very interesting name. And then he asks for a benediction. Ratihi astu. Please benedict me that I develop rati. Towards what? Towards this specific vision that I'm envisioning. I want to see this Krishna. How? Anavadya. Without any material taint, no tinge of material desire. I just want to get attached to this form. This is his prayer. This is what he's praying to his Lord. Very interestingly here, Krishna is always compared as the most attractive. See, getting attracted to beautiful things is natural, isn't it? We all get attracted to everyone, isn't it? When we see a beautiful child, we always want to take a second look at the child. And if given a chance, we want to carry the baby in our hands and have a look at it. Sweet. It's very sweet. Getting attracted to a sweet face is a natural propensity of a jiva. Of course, an animal gets attracted to its own species, but nowadays we are getting attracted to dogs and cats also. But generally, there is attraction to something sweet, although they are also jivas. We get attracted to beautiful cows when you see uh, Kapila cows or Gir cows, very beautiful to look at. So, jiva's natural propensity is to get attracted. Is it not? The propensity is natural. But the problem is, this attraction never satiates. We keep searching for a beautiful face all our lives. When will that search end? When that will end when we see that object after seeing where no more attraction remains. Because we might get attracted to a beautiful face before, but after a while that beautiful face will wither away and there will be wrinkles. And then there is a cosmetic industry which will put anti-wrinkle cream also, so to make it beautiful again. They try a lot, but majority of the cosmetic industry only sell hope. They don't sell permanent fixes actually. So they're natural. But Bhagavatam again in the second verse of the first canto says, Dharma projhita kaita vatra paramo nirmatsaranam satam vedyam vastavamatra vastu shivadam. Vastu. Acharya Madhva, when he left his home at the age of 9 years, he paid obeisances to his house, his pillar, everything. He says this is Vastava Vastu. Vastu means that which is Vastava. Vastu means that which is eternally existing. So Krishna, Atra Vastu Shivadam, that auspicious Vastu is Krishna. Until unless one sees that Krishna, one cannot get satiated of any beauty in this existence. Therefore, Bhishma Deva is glorifying Tribhuvana Kamanam Tamala Varanam. This beautiful face of Krishna, the whole world wants to see, but yet it is very durlabha. Durlabha manava janama satsange. So it is very durlabha for anyone to see Krishna and get, and on top of it, even after seeing Krishna, it is durlabha even to get attracted to him. Duryodhana was seeing Krishna, he never got attracted to Krishna. So unfortunate. But it is very durlabha, but we are all very fortunate because of Prabhupada, we naturally get attracted to Krishna. Because I got attracted to Krishna Prasadam first, especially in Melbourne temple. We call it as Melbourne Mahaprabhu Mandir, but it is also famously called as Melbourne Mahaprasad Mandir, because there are 9 offerings to the lordships of Shri Shri Radha Vallabha, Shri Shri Jagannath Balabhadra Subhadra, and Shri Shri Gaurnitai. These are the deities that Srila Prabhupada actually did Prana Pratishtapana in 1975 of Shri Shri Gaurnitai and Radha Vallabha. Our Radha Vallabha has ivory eyes, just like Panche Bihari or Radharam. He has ivory eyes, and probably there are only 2 or 3 Krishnas we have who have ivory eyes. And I'll talk about a pastime also, about what happened, very similar of why we need to focus on one form of the Lord, which is coming out in this verse. Now, Krishna's attraction, similarly, when we see Krishna, when we get attracted to the beautiful form of Krishna, we should also get attracted to one form of Krishna. Even Krishna me ekarupam. It is high time we get attracted to one form of Krishna again. So if I'm coming to Radha Vinod is my eternal deity now. That's it. I get attracted to only Radha, so that I can meditate in my Jagrat Avastha, in my Swapna Avastha, and in the Shushupti Avastha. In all the 3 states of my consciousness, if I close my eyes, if I go to dream state, if I go to deep sleep, if I'm awake, I should always only see Radha Vinod in my eyes. One Rupa, one Ishta, even in the form of, even among the millions of forms of Krishna, I should get attached to one Tadaek Rupam of Krishna. So this is what Bhishma Dev is teaching us. Now we might see Krishna is always compared to a lotus flower, is it not? And he's also compared to the full moon. We also call Gaura Chandra. When we see our Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, he was the beautiful Gaura Chandra. When Gauranga Mahaprabhu was dancing, he was like a fully blossomed lotus or a fully blossomed moon. When we were in Belagavi, we had the opportunity to meet His Holiness Bhaktirasamraja Swami Maharaj. In Melbourne, we have a homeschooling community where we homeschool about 15 children. He was advising that every month or twice in a month, you should go to a very secluded place where there are no lights. And then you should watch the sky where they are filled with stars and moon, no lights. There should be pitch dark. And you should lie down on the ground, watch the sky, and watch the moon. And then you can understand how cooling the moon is. And then we can relate, if this moon is so cooling and beautiful, how beautiful Gaura Sundara will be, how beautiful Krishna will be, how beautiful the Vrajvasis were attracted to Krishna. So Maharaj was suggesting that kids should stop and watch. They should have a moonlit watch night. You should have this as a part of their astronomy class. I remember we usually have a farm in Melbourne called Hare Krishna Valley. We have about 40 Gir cows there and bulls there, and we take the kids for a kids retreat once in a quarter, I think. And there is no network. The phones don't work, and there are no lights. In the night, it is pitch dark. I had never seen a sky like that, actually. When I saw the sky, it was like, the Milky Galaxy that we see in the movies and the theater? It was actually like that. Thousands of stars and a glittering moon. And we lay down on the grass for 1 hour watching the moon, and the kids were open mouth, gasping at the sky. Prabhuji, how is this so beautiful? That's because we've never observed the sky. We don't observe the flowers so closely. We are very detached from the nature around us. So Maharaj was advising us that we should go away from the city hustle and then retreat. There was a farm called Gokul Dham in Belgavi, which is in the midst of the forest, and there is no electricity. I asked Maharaj, but why no electricity? He says, electricity is that Maya. Once electricity comes, all its kith and come also will come. Mobile will come, washing machine will come, everything will come. So don't allow that Maya only to come. So no electricity in that farm. That okay, Maharaj, wonderful explanation. So that farm doesn't have electricity at all, actually. 450 acres and no electricity. It's quite mind-boggling. Now, in that night, if we observe the moon, then we can relate to Krishna. So that's how metaphorically we can relate to Krishna's beauty. Um, Tulasi Das, in his glorification of Lord Rama, also glorifies. I can't stop without glorifying Rama because my spiritual master named me Hanuman Das. So, Shri Ramachandra Kripalu Bhajamana हरण भव भय दारुणम नवकंज लोचन कंज मुखकर कंज पद कंजारुणम श्रीराम श्रीराम नवकंज लोचन कंज मुखकर कंज पद कंजारुणम all uh, the lotus eyes, lotus face, lotus feet. So he is Padma. He's, Padma Jaksha, Pankajanabhaya. Kunti Devi also glorifies your lotus personified, you see. So always there is a comparison to the lotus. There is a comparison to the moon for us to understand that the lotus, although it grows in filth, it never gets attached to that filth. And yet it is so fragrant, so soft, and so pure to look at. And in the same way, it is compared to the moon. Although in the pitch dark, although it's not compared to the sun, isn't it? Rama was born in the Surya Vamshi, but we always call Ramachandra. You see, interesting. But Krishna Chandra, Ramachandra, although he was a Surya Vamshi. Why? Because sun is good, but it is burning. Moon is cooling. Although it is in the dark night, it is bright and it is cooling to our heart. So therefore, he is Chandra, Ramachandra Bhagavan and Krishna Chandra Bhagavan. So like that, the Lord is glorified as the lotus flower. That is why he is very attractive. And like this, Bhishma Dev is glorifying the beauty of the Lord. If we read a beautiful stotra, which Prabhupada has translated from the Sri Vaishnava Sampradaya, which is that? Mukundamala Stotra. In that, Kulashekara Alvar glorifies, Chintayami Harimeva Santatam Mandahasamudita Nandagopatanayam Paratparam Naradadi Muni Vrindavanditam. Krishna is always mandahasa. He doesn't laugh. You see the deity of Krishna also, he's mandahasa. See Balaji also is slightly smiling. Sometimes in the movie they say, they come with difficulties and they see Krishna say, I am suffering and you are smiling, Baba. Why you do like this? They feel. But Krishna is always smiling. Why? Because his smile dissipates the darkness. Hasam harer avanata kila loka ashru. Kapila Muni says that once you see the smiling face of Krishna, this ashru of this loka will get dissipated at once. That is the smile of Krishna. Just his mandahasa, mandahasa muditana nambujam. And then he glorifies सरसि जनयने सशंख चक्रे मुरभिदिमा विरमस्पचितरन्तुम सुखतरम परम न जातु जाने हरिचरण स्मरणामृते न तुल्यम सरसि जनयने means what? Sarasa, Sarovara. Sara means what? Sarat means a lake. Sarasi Ja means Janani. Ja means Janma. That which is born in a lake. Is it not? Guru Charana Saroja Raja. You say that in the Hanuman Chalisa also. Saroja Raja means what? That the dust of the lotus feet of the spiritual master. Guru Charana Saroja Raja. Sri Guru Charana Padma. Again, Charana Padma. Similarly, Krishna's eyes also are blossoming lotuses. Like that, the acharyas go on glorifying and comparing him to the lotus. And I'll just summarize one particular aspect in this verse where Bhishma Deva calls Krishna as Vijaya Sakhe. Vijaya Sakhe Ratirastami. Vijaya Sakhe is calling Krishna as Vijaya Sakhe. This name Vijaya Sakhe, as I said, Bhagavatam mentions certain vocabulary which you don't find anywhere. This name of Krishna you will not find anywhere else, nor in any Ashtottaras, nor in any name of Krishna, nor in Vishnu Sahasranamam. But here, Bhishma addresses him as Vijaya Sakhe. In the Sri Vaishnava Sampradaya, all the Acharyas have written 360 explanations of this particular name called Vijaya Sakhe. Only Vijaya Sakhe. They have written 360 hymns just explaining why he is Vijaya Sakhe. Why? Because Krishna says, Aham Bhakta Paradhena. Krishna is all conquerable. Nobody can. He is Ajita. But that inconquerable Krishna gets conquered by the love of Yashoda Mai. Therefore, he is Vijaya Sakhi. Because he is conquered by the devotion of the devotee. He's Vijaya Sakhe because Madhaveti, He Saketi. Because Arjuna is a Sakha. He's a Sakha of Krishna. So therefore, you are the friend of that conqueror. He's addressing Arjuna, you have defeated me. He's the enemy. Arjuna is the enemy, right? In fact, I'm killed because you, Arjuna, Krishna, you are the friend of this conqueror who has actually killed me. So therefore, give me the attachment to your lotus face, to your lotus feet. This is the meditation of Bhishma Deva. Interestingly, Prabhupada writes, although he's a reincarnation of the Gandharva called Vasu, Vishnu Chakravarti Thakura says, there is Vasu, in the Amsha of Vasu, there was Bhishma Deva, who was a pure devotee, goes back to his original constitutional position. And every time Krishna comes, Bhishma Deva comes to have the Virya Rasa. As Prabhupada culminates in his purport, that devotees have their exchanges with Krishna, and not an ounce that Bhishma Deva will not feel sad that the gopis are feeling something else. He is full with his rasa. He's full with his rasa. Like Hanuman is full with his rasa with Rama, because that is his rasa. So every devotee enjoys his rasa in complete with Krishna, and Krishna reciprocates. He is Akila Rasamrita Murti. He is Aganita Guna Sampanna. So Krishna can reciprocate with each and every jiva according to the nature of approach that we do. And in this case, Bhishma Deva is approaching that I want to see Krishna in that valiant form that you have come to kill me and you are protecting your devotee Arjuna. So with this, I will stop here. I will summarize that I was very fortunate that Narahari Prabhu and Prasannatma Prabhu gave this opportunity. And thank you all of you for giving me this opportunity to speak a few words. And in this verse, Bhishma Deva is gradually meditating and withdrawing his senses to focus on a specific form of Krishna in a specific juncture. So for us, the practical lesson we could take is for us to condense our devotion, we should also have a Ishta Devata. We see Gaur, His Holiness Gaur Govind Maharaj also was very attached to his Gopalji, very attached to his Gopalji. And we saw even before he wound up his pastimes, he saw the photo of Gopal and he said Gopal, and he left his mortal planet. So in this way, we have to get attached to a specific form of Krishna and then condense our consciousness on that form of Krishna. And this is the lesson that Bhishma Dev is teaching us. So with this, I'll stop here. If there are any questions, comments, or corrections, I would be very happy to discuss for a few more minutes. We have 9 more minutes, probably.
Hare Krishna, Prabhu.
Hare Krishna, Prabhuji.
Prabhuji, to condense our concentration on Krishna, is it required to retire from all the duties? Because what I see from Parikshit Maharaj's example, he retired from his kingly duties, and even Bhishma Deva is now saying that I finished all my occupational duties. So when I'm thinking, feeling, willing, I'm focusing on you.
Yeah.
So is this really? I mean, this is what my understanding. So is that correct, Prabhuji?
So can I just repeat the question for my understanding? For someone to condense someone's concentration on thinking, feeling, and willing on Krishna, is it a requirement to retire from their duties and then you can do the thinking, feeling, willing? Is that the question you're asking? Is it a requirement or prerequisite to retire and then do this? Is that the question?
Yes, that's what I have learned from the stories of the devotees, that they retired from their lives off from their duties, and then they focus completely on Krishna.
Yeah.
Okay. Is that my understanding correct, Prabhuji?
I mean, according to my knowledge, I can only explain. I might there are Varish Vaishnavas here, but they're okay, Prabhuji. My understanding is, Prabhuji, Krishna Chatur Varnyam Maya Shrishtam Guna Karma Vibhagasha. And Acharya Madhva also says, Kuru Bhungsho cha karma nijam niyatam Haripada Vinamra Dhiya Satatam Harireva Paro Harireva Guru Harireva Jagat Pitramatragatihi. Based on the duty we are doing, we have to execute our duties. We should not run away from our duties. Arjuna also wanted to do that. You remember, Arjuna's main point was, I want to go and meditate. I want to focus on you, Krishna. He says, no. You do your war and then do it while focusing. Mam anusmara yudhya, Krishna says. Do the yuddha while meditating on me. He did not ask Arjuna to retire and then meditate. Human mind or manas has a unique capability. We all are aware of it. It can do many things at the same time. We all know that, isn't it? We can be physically here and mentally be somewhere else. Or we can do something, but at the same time focus on something as well. Mind has this capacity. So therefore, this intrinsic nature of the mind has to be applied for those who are in the grihastha dharma to execute their execution of duties. If you are a grihastha, you have to execute your duties because there are dependents. You have to do your duty, but do it as an offering to me. Mam anusmara dharma charanam. That has to be done. But somebody has gone into vanaprastha, they are retired. Of course, they have all the facility to do complete absorption into Krishna. But who is somebody having responsibilities? So based on the varna, based on the ashrama we have, this principle has to be applied. For a brahmacharya, from a brahmachari, it is very easy because he is doing 24/7 acharanam of brahmacharya. So Brahma means Vedas, Brahma means brahmacharya, Brahma means worship of the Lord. So like that. But for a grihastha, he has responsibilities of taking care not only of his family, but for the whole society. He has to run the whole society. So grihastha has a more responsible position, but he has to do it as an offering to Krishna. Vanaprastha, of course, as Bhishmadeva is there, he can retire. Right now, you see, this is being preached to whom? Yudhishthira Maharaj. Yudhishthira Maharaj has not been asked to retire, but he's been asked, you go and run the kingdom, do it as an offering to Krishna, while chanting the names of Hari. So this is my understanding, Prabhuji. So thinking, feeling, willing can always be invested in Krishna irrespective of our ashrama. But it has to be, we have to learn the science and art of how to do it when in whichever ashrama we are in. That's my understanding.
But it won't be able to like fully, Prabhuji, like fully concentrated. There would be thoughts of other duties, like while focusing on Krishna. Like I have my office work and
Correct. So the acharyas have suggested, let's say I work in an IT company. Before I start my work, I say, my dear Lord, I am starting your worship. May this work be your worship, my dear Lord. And when I have completed today your worship, my Lord. Let all the fruits be yours, the glory be yours. And I have not done this. You have sat in me and helped me to execute this work. So let this be your worship, my dear Lord. So if we do that, even though we are not focusing on, we think we are thinking of Krishna. Naham karta hari karta. Even thinking of Krishna is actually done by Krishna himself. We are not having so much samarthya where we can think of Krishna. It is Krishna who sits in us and helps us to think about Krishna. So therefore we can convert every situation into a prayer to say, Krishna, please help me to remember you in whatever situation I am in. Krishna says this. Vedaischa sarvair ahameva vedyo vedanta krit. What is that verse? Sarvasya chaham hridi sannivishtaha mattah smritir jnanam apohanam. I am the reason for you to remember Krishna. You can only remember if Krishna wants you to remember. So therefore we convert that situation. I know it's very difficult, and we convert. You have put me in this situation. Please help me to execute my ashrama properly, my dear Lord, so that I always be in remembrance of you. If you read the second canto, 9th chapter, Brahmaji prays like this. Help me to do this execution of creation in such a way that Rajoguna Avarana does not happen. My mode of passion doesn't cover me, so that I can always remember you at all times, my dear Lord. And this creation activity becomes your worship. That is one way to look at it, Prabhuji. That is why Prabhupada sometimes translates Buddhi Yoga, Karma Yoga as a devotional service also. This is just my understanding, Prabhuji.
thank you,
And
thank you for the clarification.
Does it satisfy you, Prabhu?
Yes, yes.
Thank you.
Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna.
Thank you, Prabhuji, for the wonderful meditations on Bhishma Stati. I had one question with respect to the battle of Kurukshetra. Before the onset of the war, Duryodhana asks for Narayani Sena support from Krishna. In that sense, like they were fighting on behalf of the Adharma side. And also, how was it that the Pandavas were able to conquer Narayani Sena? Other than defeating all those on the path of Adharma, the Kauravas, but does the scriptures like any light on this? Like how?
Thank you, Prabhu. It is very similar to say, how come a devotee of the Lord Bhishma Deva was on the Adharma side? Is it not? It is said that the Lord puts everyone in their situation, in their shoes, for the Lord to enact his pastimes. Generally, it is said like that. One understanding is that the Lord has to demonstrate, no matter how materially strong one may become, which is the symbolic representation of the Narayani Sena. If Narayana is not on their side, the material opulence and the strength and power is of no use. No matter how strong and powerful Bhishma Deva was, no matter how many benedictions Kauravas had, no matter what all protections Kaurava had, they did not have one, Ekam, that is Krishna. To demonstrate this, Krishna creates this situation in the Mahabharata war. That wherever Krishna, yatra Yogeshwara Krishno, yatra Partho Dhanurdaraha, tatra Shrir Vijayo Bhutir Dhruvanitir Matirmama. This is the culmination of Sanjaya, where he says, where Krishna is there, only there is victory. Where Krishna is not there, there is no victory. Even though one may be materially very powerful. So Narayani Sena is a reminiscent of the material prowess of Krishna, the Shakti of Krishna. But where Krishna is not there, then that material Shakti is of no use. That is one way to understand Prabhuji. There are no questions?
Hare Krishna, Prabhu. Thank you very much for wonderful class, Prabhuji. I have one question, Prabhuji. So in the sloka, we saw that Bhishma Dev was enjoying the relationship with Lord Krishna in the Virya Rasa. We also see that there are primary rasas and secondary rasas. I think Virya Rasa doesn't come in the primary rasa. So what was the primary relationship or rasa that Bhishma Dev was relationship with Krishna.
It is a Virya rasa. Prabhupada writes in the purport, if you see, the last section, Prabhupada writes, a genuine relation of the living being with the Supreme can take any form of the five principal rasas, and it does not make any difference in the transcendental degree to the genuine devotee. Oh, you're asking which of the five principal rasas he was on? Sorry, I do not know the answer for that, of which rasa actually Bhishma Dev's Virya rasa can be classified as. If someone knows the answer, they can actually fill in. Sorry, Prabhuji. I do not know the answer. Of servitude, could be servitude. Yeah, this is to give pleasure to Krishna, because Krishna needs somebody to fight. Dasya rasa you're talking. Dasya. Something to go back and check again. Thank you, Prabhuji.
Hare Krishna Prabhuji, thank you for the wonderful class. Especially the starting that you mentioned that, like this rasa, Bhagavata rasa, that we could feel little bit when you are reciting the very nicely your bhava actually. Just the first point that you mentioned, like, where we are actually looking for, we are attracted to the beauty and we are looking for one after another and not insatiated. It's not satiated actually. And we need to look into that Ishtadaiva, whom actually can satiate that feeling actually.
Yes.
But whereas like a practicing devotee, when he's going through so much struggles in the life and also ups and downs in the devotional life, when he's going before the Lord, he cannot even see the Lord that, yes, I'm doing so many abominable things or mistakes. Please give me that, that conducive environment or so that I can do bhakti to you, or that form actually can, reside in my mati. So how is that possible? Like actually, like when somebody is with humility approaching the Lord, how can he actually, have him in his mati? Like,
Not that I know it by realization, Prabhuji. I know it only theoretically, which I can share. So these answers are just heard and reproduced. Prabhupada has created. You see, this material world is a disturbing place. We all know that Krishna says that. There is no place or no time in this existence where there will be a time where I can absorb into Krishna consciousness. It is very difficult. Therefore, we have to do sadhana. Sadhana means that which is not natural. That which is natural is spontaneous. That which is not natural is sadhana. You have to put your effort to do it. But Prabhupada said, and the reason why it is disturbing is there are so many factors at play. The factor of time, the factor of the trigunas, and the factor of the kleshas that we undergo. There are so many influences that disturb us, especially the adhyatmika, adhibhautika, and adidaiva kleshas, and the gunas, the prabhava of the guna, the prabhava of the kala, the prabhava of my karma. So many things at play. But Prabhupada has given us a medicine for this. And the medicine for this is to defeat or nullify most of the factors. And most of the factors get nullified when we come to the morning program. Morning program is so potent. The five potent devotional service among the Chausat, the 64 Angas, are so potent that the mode of passion and mode of ignorance is practically absent. Of course, although it is absent, sometimes I go into the altar, I bathe Gaurnitai, and I'm coming out, and I don't realize, did I really see Gaurnitai or not? I was inside the altar for half an hour. It happens. That is because of the conditioning. But if we repeatedly follow the acharyas, probably the intensity, I've heard this in one of the lectures, that the more we are in trouble and the more we intensify our sadhana, the more the impressions get stronger registered in our chitta. Because bhakti cannot be done sulabha. The more sulabha we do bhakti, just and chant like this, it won't get registered. That is why Nati Uti Nicham. If you see the 6th chapter of Bhagavad Gita, Krishna says how you should sit and chant. Should sit on a floor which is not too low, not too high. Sit on the floor, back erect, and things like that. Why these prescriptions are there? Because the more alert, the more intense our sadhana is, the more stronger the impressions of Krishna consciousness that gets deeper into our chitta. And that can happen only if we are in trouble. We all know when we go and pray to Krishna when we are in trouble, the prayer is more natural and the more intensity. But when things are going very nicely, we come almost Hare Krishna Prabhuji, Hare Krishna my dear Lord. It's a mood like that. We come pay obeisances. It's just autonomous. But when there is pain, Krishna like this, Rinadapi sunitena tarorapi sahishna. The mood will come spontaneous. So therefore, it is Krishna's mercy to put us in difficult situations so that we can intensify the sadhana to push ourselves a little bit. And then Prabhupada's mercy and the devotees samuha, which will actually register the impressions. And then magic will happen gradually. As Prabhupada says, devotee evolves. He says, Prabhupada mentions this exact word. As devotee progresses, his consciousness evolves. And eventually Krishna's mercy, he gets attacked. My understanding, theoretically, I'm yet to experience it. But one thing for sure is the morning program is very potent because mode of goodness is predominant. Devotee association is prime because people who come there are very serious practitioners. Second, chanting with them, Tulasi Puja, seeing the deities early in the morning. It's very powerful, very potent. Morning program is very potent, is what I feel. Thank you, Prabhuji. 7 past 10. Okay.
Yeah. You just want to share, Prabhu, that you were telling about the deities, some pastime you want to, you said you will.
Can, but Harari Prabhu has to permit me 7 minutes past 10. Sorry, it's gone over time. It so happened that there is one devotee in Melbourne. We have Jagannath Baldev Subhadramai and we have Chota Jagannath Baldev Subhadramai. And they get painted every Snana Yatra. And His Holiness Jayapataka Maharaj usually always used to come for the Snana Yatra in Melbourne. So after Snana Yatra, Jagannath Baldev Subhadra go up and they rest for 12 days because they get sick. And we supply them kashayam and everything, and then they come back. But in between, they get painted if the paint has to be done. So there is a devotee who paints Jagannath Baldev Subhadra for the past 35 years. Devotee is very attached to Jagannath Baldev Subhadra. So what happened after Snana Yatra, they were upstairs. This devotee went to paint and she painted big Jagannath Baldev Subhadra. She looked at small Jagannath Baldev Subhadra and said, yeah, they're okay, and they came back. She came back. And the next day morning, the deities have come back. During the Mangalarti time, we bring back Jagannath Baldev Subhadra down to the altar. There's another devotee whose father is a very nice Brajvasi. He recently passed away in Vrindavan. He resides in Melbourne. This devotee, I'll not name the devotee, just keep the anonymity. He had a dream that same night. No connection, right? He doesn't know what has happened. He just had a dream. He comes in the morning and starts sharing a dream with everyone. I had Jagannath Baldev Subhadra in my dream. And you know what they said? The small Jagannath Baldev Subhadra doesn't want to come out. They're saying, we are not coming out. And he said, I don't know why they were saying like that. And they were saying, we don't want to come out. We are not painted. We don't want to come out. We still have the old paint on us. So he was sharing this with everyone. And apparently this story reached the devotee who paints. And she became so bewildered because she had not painted the Jagannath Baldev Subhadra. And he had a dream that they don't want to come out into the altar because their paint is still old. And she became so angry that somehow somebody peeped in, because nobody goes in when the painting is going on. Only she goes in, and because Jagannath Baldev Subhadra is resting on their bed. Because when they get sick, they're on the bed. So only she is allowed, and only one pujari serves them for the whole 12 days. The prasadam is separate. Jagannath Baldev Subhadra is all khichdi and separate ginger tea so that they can become all right. And this devotee, there was nobody inside the room. So somebody has peeped in. Somebody has done a wrong thing that they know what that I have not painted. So she became angry and she went and complained. This is not fair. The people are peeping into the room when this is happening. And this devotee said, no, Mataji, this was an original dream. I saw this in my dream. I told my wife as soon as I got up. And so this happened because the Mataji was so dear to the Jagannath Baldev Subhadra, because our Jagannath Baldev Subhadra is a lot of devotees loved Jagannath because they have very big eyes and they're very big deities. It's almost this big Jagannath we have, and they're very big. Prabhupada got it carved very big size deities, and the eyes are very big. And I like Jagannath Baldev Subhadra is because they are the only deities I can see without my spectacles. I can see from far Jagannath also. He's so merciful, Without my glasses, I can see him because I can see his eyes. Radha Krishna, I can't see because I have to wear my spectacles. But if I stand back, I can still see Jagannath's big eyes. So they're very merciful to us. So like that, so this was one episode where devotee who was very dear to Jagannath Baldev Subhadra kind of had a pastime with this devotee that you didn't paint me, so I'm going to come in someone else's dream and try to deceive you to say you didn't paint me. This just wanted to share this episode, Prabhuji, with you all. Thank you so much. Stop here. Prabhuji. Yeah, we had to take Jagannath Baldev Subhadra back, so this was discussed in the meeting, and they said no, this is the concern of the deities. We have to respect their concern. So Jagannath Baldev Subhadra got painted, and they were happily back into the order after that. So I'll stop here. ग्रंथराज श्रीमद् भागवतम की जय, श्रील प्रभुपाद की जय, अनंत कोटि वैष्णव वृंद की जय, निताय गौर प्रेमानंदे, वाञ्छाकल्पतरुभ्यश्च कृपा सिंधुभ्य एव च पतितानां पावनेभ्यो वैष्णवेभ्यो नमो नमः।
Hare Krishna. Let us thank His Grace Hanuman Prabhu for such wonderful katha, along with his so melodious recitation of the verses in English, as well as we had Kannada class by His Grace Prasannatma Balram Prabhu by chanting Hare Krishna mantra once. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare. Many of us are, almost every one of us are hearing for the first time from Hanuman Prabhu. Just a brief introduction. Hanuman Prabhu is an active member of Sweet Melbourne congregation, and he is allowed to serve in Melbourne temple at various capacities, and especially he loves to bathe and dry Shri Shri Gaurnita after Mangalarti, and he is a Bhakti Shastri teacher, and he takes Bhakti Vriksha at his home, and in his professional, Hanuman Prabhu has been born and brought up in Bengaluru, and he studied in BMS College of Engineering Mechanical Engineering, and now he's a SAMP consultant. He has worked in many countries, and currently he is staying in Melbourne, and he has come with his whole family. And as he was mentioning about the what do you call homeschooling of children, his son Krishna is also sitting here. He is also homeschooled. So much such a wonderful family. Let us express our gratitude and thank him for coming and giving such wonderful katha. Thank you, Prabhu. Hare Krishna. There are few devotees who have sponsored for today's prasadam. Let's express our gratitude. One of them is Ashwin Krishna Rao Javalkar Prabhu. He has sponsored prasadam, and also His Grace Narahari Chaitanya Prabhu has sponsored on the occasion of his sister Jai Shri Mataji's first year of anniversary of passing away, Vaikuntha Samaradhane. And also one more devotee who is Ramana Prabhu and his family. They have